Alright guys, welcome to Game 2 of the Masters. This time it is the Battle for the Pass, as you can see from the terrain layout here. We're using the long ways version of the table, and it's Empire versus Demons. Yeah, none of these matchups are going to be easy, including this one. And this is Tom with his demon army with about 30 horrors in it. 2 units of flesh hounds, 2 units of fiends, a single and a double. Some bloodletters and some flamers, and a couple of units of nurglings. So nothing really is weak or soft in this list. As usual, it's going to be a really tough time. But the plan in this game is just to use the War Altar to its maximum effect. He's really going to be working overtime this game. Hopefully getting some banishment off, which is a Law of Light spell, which the Jade Griffin can cast at the end of the magic phase, which does an extra d6 worth of hits against demons and forces them to reroll their ward saves. So if I can get that off, it should be useful. Bit disappointed that he doesn't have any really juicy targets for the cannons to try and take out, but I will be firing them nonetheless. Other than that, the Knights, Flagellants, hopefully getting into good targets, and the Wizard evening things up with his Law of Shadows. But that's about all I can really do. I mean, otherwise, he's probably going to have a lot of advantages over me here, so hopefully the comp score plays a part in the end. Next image, his Nurgling bases are creeping up on my cannon to the other side of the field. Not particularly worried about the cannon. The cannon's not going to play a crucial role in the game, but as you can see, there's some flagellants up ahead, so maybe if I can bring them around, I can wipe out the Nurglings first and then bring the flagellants back into position to defend against the bloodletters later on. Next photo, though, he's got some flamers, so I'm really going to have to keep the flagellants behind the hill a bit, because the flamers are really going to eat through them really quickly. Can't believe how powerful flamers are, really. They are just nuts. They were in 7th, and they are in 8th. So watch out. Hopefully I get a banishment off on these guys, but obviously he's got some dispel dice of his own and a scroll, so he should be able to stop me if I don't get a double 6. Next image, on his right-hand side flank, he's got the 2 units of Fiends, single and double as we saw, and Flesh Hound. So he's looking to pile up a lot of fast-moving stuff on this right-hand flank. To combat him, though, I've got my Knights and the Arc Lector ready to move over, and I've got some crossbowmen in range and 1 cannon. So hopefully I should be able to lighten the load a little bit by taking a few casualties at long range, and then bringing the Knights in for a decent charge, hopefully winning sort of one-round combats. But it's always tough against Demons because of their instability rule. You really have to beat them by a large margin if you want to actually get rid of a unit. Next image shows you a bit more about what I've done here. They've got the Pistoliers are in the middle there, and I think that I'll be hitting them to the right to help with the Nurglings, but then again, they'd probably be just as useful against the Flesh Hounds and the Fiends, to be honest. I mean, either way, the pistols aren't going to make a huge amount of difference, but it's useful to have a Vanguard unit at the front, and I'm glad that I took Pistoliers to the tournament. They're not an extremely powerful unit, but it's good to have a deployment there which you can Vanguard and use as a redirector, although unfortunately they're quite an expensive redirector. Next image, what I've decided to do is head them over in front of the Nurglings, because I wasn't sure that I'd get the first turn, so they've come over here to help out, and I didn't indeed get the first turn, so luckily wasn't charged and losing the cannon straight away, so this will help. And obviously if he decides to charge me, I could always flee and hit through the flagellants, not causing any panic checks, of course, and let the flagellants deal with the Nurglings, which they certainly would in short order. Over the left-hand side, I've just moved up a little bit, just waiting really for him to come to me so I can get some cannon shots off. That's what the scenario is all about. The Battle for the Pass really is beneficial for armies with a lot of range stuff, giving them time to gun the enemy down before they get along to my side. Quite happy with the photography. You can actually see a lot of kid stuff in the background. We're actually playing at a school hall, not surprisingly, given the stuff on the walls there. But yeah, really happy with the lighting and just the colourful scenery. This is in Wellington, and the organizer has done a lot of work with the terrain, making sure everything looks great, which I'm really happy about. Next image, the Nurglings, rather than charging, have spread out. They've taken 1 wound from the Pistoliers, but Tom has wisely brought in his flamers through the forest here to annihilate the Pistoliers. I think what ended up happening is he got a couple of wounds on them, which allowed me to creep them back to safety, but really those flamers were going to destroy anything they shot at, except the heavily armoured stuff, so he's put them on the right flank, to be honest. Next image, a bit more is going on the right-hand side. He's actually setting me a trap here. He's moved the Fiends up. I've destroyed one of them with a cannon shot, and as you can see here, if I charge the Fiends, it's my knights are going to be able to destroy the Fiends and hit the Bloodletters, so the Fledgehounds, but in his turn, he'll be able to flank charge me. Now, I'm thinking here that if I just go for it anyway, the knights may well hold up against one round of being flanked by Fleshhounds, and then the Waralter can come in. So essentially, if I'm lucky, it really be the hunter becoming the prey here. But we'll have to see. It's a bit risky sort of stuff. Next image, as you can see, the knights have indeed contacted both of the fiends, rolled high enough for the charge, so the knights expecting to destroy the fiends here. And the good thing about this play means that I'm going to get rid of two fiends, which are going to be annoying. The knights are going to hit into the Fleshhounds, and because my charge will do enough damage to the Fleshhounds, even though he's going to flank me here, and if I pass enough armor saves, it shouldn't be a loss by a big margin. If I can bring my Battle Standard Bearer close enough and the Arclight close enough, I should be able to hold here and then fend him off, and then the Waralter can come in the side if you guys see that. So it's a bit of a risky play, it's a bit of a gamble, but let's see if it pays off. Next image, hanging back really, the Flagellants are behind the hill just to give them a bit of cover against the Flamers in the background. The Waralter has actually attempted to do a long distance charge against the Fleshhounds to prevent him from flanking me in the following turn, but I didn't roll high enough. It was a long shot, but the good thing is that in the following turn I can attempt it anyway. Keeping the Swordsman back and the cannon really out of targets to shoot at the moment, so just conserving points by not trying to misfire or anything like that, and doing the best I can with the magic phase. Unfortunately, the BSB is still back with the craftsman in the building here, well, not so much the building, but the ruins, to give him as much of a different bubble of rerollable leadership as he can. Next photo, the Fleshhounds indeed charge into the flank, and the Valiant Knights pass numerous armor saves, quite lucky to pass enough of them, and this keeps me in the fight, winning a couple of rounds of combat here, and destroying some of his Fleshhounds. So really good effort from the Knights. They performed well, defending their kingdom and country, or empire I should say, and the fight continues. Next photo actually shows you him moving in a lot closer with the Bloodletters now, moving the Flamers around, doing a few shots off. I've managed to cast a spell which was reduced his Flamer's ballistic skill by 2, so that shut down his shooting phase for a little while. But next up we're going to be seeing the Flagellants against the Bloodletters, and I'll be making a charge there because it'll allow me to slow him down for a bit and weaken that Bloodletter unit. So if I have to engage him with Swordsman, then I might have a chance. I've got to say. It's not really going to be a good fight for me either way. Next image, the victorious, or the valiant, I'm not really sure what word to use, but the damn right awesome Waralter coming into the flank of the Fleshhounds and crushing them. So lots of damage done here, impact hits, plenty of combat res for me. I've lost a lot of knights, giving their lives to keep this combat going, but that's what it's all about. And he's actually cast Flesh to Stone, because his Herald of Tzeentch in that unit in the background knows the entire lore of life. So that's Flesh to Stone on the front unit, but in the flank there, the Waralter's crushed in and caused severe damage, allowing me to win the fight and eventually mop up both units of Fleshhounds. Next photo, the Flagellants charge headlong into the Bloodletters, martyring themselves and actually destroying a whole lot of Bloodletters here. But of course, with the Bloodletters and Herald of Khorne attacking back, it's not many rounds before the Flagellants are eventually destroyed. Next image shows you what's going on here. The Waralter has indeed dispatched of the Fleshhounds. There's one final Fleshhound attacking the Knights, but they just soon destroy it. What is coming down to here is a showdown between the Horrors and the Waralter itself, and of course the Bloodletters, which have been severely reduced in number by the Flagellants, as you can see, swinging around later on. Going to the next picture, again the Pistoliers shooting at the Nurglings and just really keeping them at bay, trying to keep the Nurglings really out of the game, and the Flamers just wasting their time on the left-hand flank while I try and seal a deal and get some points on the left-hand flank. If that made any sense. I might have got the names spittled up there, but in the middle, he's a fair way away from my swordsmen and my general state infantry there, so if he does collect any points from them, it'll be very late in the game, and hopefully I'll be able to either flee or win some combats. Next image, what's happened here is that In one final round, a single flagellant has been left alive against the Bloodletters, which is just awesome. This lone guy holding it out and making them fight one final round. So flagellants really did their job here. Although they're worth 200 points, it's almost worth it for the sheer amount of time it takes for the enemy to finally destroy them, being unbreakable. So just love this photo. This final guy, doing what he does best and dying in the face of unbelievable horror. Next photo, the Horrors attempted to charge the Waralter but fell short, allowing me to countercharge. And what was really important about this is because I'm able to put the Waralter into combat base to base with the Herald of Tzeentch. So if it had been the other way, he could have actually maximized the contact of the unit in such a way that I wasn't in base to base with the Herald itself, meaning that after I've killed his champion, if he had had his way, I wouldn't have been base to base with the Herald. But in this case, I've charged in. I've actually got him to fail his ward save, and I've killed the champion. So on the following round, I should be able to hammer the Tzeentch Herald on the head and dispose of him. And this should be a great way of me actually collecting some serious points this game. Next photo, though, things are looking a bit interesting because very shortly the Bloodletters will be destroying that final flagellant, turning around and possibly charging my Waralter, which will make things very grim indeed. And if you go to the next photo, that's exactly what happens. The Bloodletters come in, attack the Waralter, and I am finding myself in a position where I can't actually easily get to the Herald, because if he challenges me with his champion or his Herald of Khorne, I've got to attack that target instead. So my Waralter taking a bit of a beating here. Next photo, the swordsmen moving up, the battle standard bearer has joined them, and I've moved in range to give myself a buff, and the knights are charging into the flank of the Bloodletters. But I've got to say that I was playing fairly well this game up until this point. In fact, here is a mistake. Me charging to the flank means that the knights, unfortunately, are involved in a losing combat here, just because of the amount of wounds that he's getting through past the Waralter's toughness. And the knights aren't able to get much damage done either, because obviously they can just engage in a challenge, or the Herald of Khorne engages in challenges over there. Sorry. So, in fact, I got sent backwards, and the Waralter was eventually destroyed, which was a huge blow for me, because I was feeling like I could have taken this game, but unfortunately, with the way things panned out and the way that the flagellant fight turned out, he was able to reform and charge the Waralter when I least expected it. So that's what ended up happening. Going to the next photo, the swordsmen have moved over here in front of the flamers, but there's nothing I can really do. He keeps moving back, keeps shooting at them, and the game essentially comes to close without those swordsmen having been destroyed, or the flamers having been destroyed. Going to the next photo, you can see what's happening here. The knights rally desperately at the edges of the board. The swordsmen don't want to commit to the combat just yet, or at all. But going to the final photo after that, that's exactly what happens. And yet another mistake by me, thinking here that I can actually do a lot of damage and hopefully win the fight with combat res. Not the case at all, and unfortunately in this final fight he finished off the Waralter and the Arc Lector, and the swordsman really did nothing to get any more points out of it. So Tom ended up taking the win. With the comp score factored in, it turned out to be only a minor win for him, but unfortunately I was deprived of what could have been a well-played game with a victory there. So thanks for watching, guys. By the way, in this final photo you may see that there's some horrors crypt around the side there. They're just there to represent Bloodletters, because we didn't have the right sort of base size models. He had used some units fillers and things, and we couldn't really get the fight looking the way we wanted, so we just put in some proxies for the moment. But that's what happened. Hope you guys enjoyed this port. We'll be coming to the third game of the tournament very soon.